Hello everyone, welcome back. So we're another week down and this week's ended a little bit differently than we'd planned. As you can see, SBR BA1 is all pulled apart. That wasn't on the agenda at the start of the week, and there's a reason why this has all taken place. Now in last week's video, we suggested that the restoration on FTR3 may stall a little bit while I try and save up enough revenue to get the cage rebuilt. And in response to that, a lot of you have reached out wanting to contribute or donate, which I'm really appreciative of. But at the same time, I want to be able to offer something in return and not just take. A lot of the suggestions we've had over the last week has been around a merch line, which I'm looking into. As I said, it's all new to me. But there's also been some really good suggestions about whether we can utilise the other two cars to help FTR3. Now, whether that be through selling some passenger rides or do an open day with photo opportunities, just trying to put something together that'll help us generate the revenue we need to bring the end date of FTR3's restoration closer. So we spent today going over BA1 just to see hypothetically what it would need to recommission the car after it's sat idle as a museum piece for over 10 years. And I've recorded it the whole step of the way, which I'll share with you now. We know the Super Cheap Auto Falcon's not far off. BA1's a bit of a different story, but this is what we found. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we've got the car jacked up and the wheels off car 9. And I've had to put some standard jack stands under the car, which I've never had to do before. These cars have an onboard air jack system, which I would normally utilise, but for some reason, the air jack length on the Stone Brothers Falcon, speak of the devil, that's Eastern Creek in 2003. The air jack system in this car is a lot shorter than the other cars. So just to show you what you normally do, and I'll put a little video over the top here to show you properly, but you've got these little incompressible stands that you put in between the air jack and the car body. You can release the air out of the air jack and the car will sit there quite safely. Now, for some reason, the jack stand length on the Stone Brothers Falcon is a lot shorter, so you can't get those little stands in there. So, I'll make a racket. So for some reason, there'll be a reason why they've done it, but I'll have to get another set made to utilise the air jacks on the car. So it's important to remember with this car that it hasn't been started for well over a decade. And unfortunately, when it was, I guess, last used, if we had known it was going to sit that long, it would have been dry stored. So pump all the fluids out of it and really get it to a point that it's, not going to cause any damage or extra work. That didn't happen. The car was actually meant to go back on track, and you can see it's even had brand new brake pads put in the back of it. And there was a bit of work done to prepare the car for its next outing, but that never came. And then there was a quick paint job, sticker job done, and V8 used it for some marketing, and that was really went to a museum from there, and that was the end of that. So there is a lot of old fluid and oils and bits and pieces that we're going to have to go through. But the car was a complete turnkey car, obviously with a gearbox in it. That doesn't have that in there today, but we've got one. So everything's there. So by rights, if everything gets serviced up and inspected, providing no disasters, it should fire back into life again. But we'll go over it now. I'll film it as we go and see what we've got ahead of us. So we've got the airbox lid off the car, and we're going to have to take the airbox base out. As you can see there, there's just no way to get to anything in the engine with all that fitted up. And it's a bit of a fiddly job because everything's sealed up with tape. You can see I've just taken that bolt out of there, but that's what they all look like. So we'll take all them out, we'll mark them all as we go so it all goes back exactly how it needs to be, and we'll see what we've got waiting for us underneath all this. Okay, after a serious struggle, the airbox is off. Absolute so-and-so of a job, but you can see how Stones have engineered it, and it's really clever. Everything's got really tight tolerances. It's all about airflow, but I'm glad it's all come off because you can see all the tape and everything where it's all sealed has all just gone brittle over time, and it wasn't actually doing its job. And you can see that back section splits in two halves where it goes over the back of the inlet over the trumpets and jams up hard under the firewall. So every millimetre of space has been used to make that airbox as efficiently as possible. So after a quick look, everything that needs to be spotless looks like it still is, which is really good news. We're talking, down the inside of the trumpets, all the throttle bodies, all that kind of stuff is really clean. You can see even externally, everything looks really good. They really are a work of art, these things. Now, everything else though is fairly grubby, and the next step I'd like to do is pull the rocker covers off and have a bit of a look inside, and then turn the engine over by hand just to make sure everything's free. You can see there's a lot of dirt and dust that's all over it. So I don't really want to open the engine up at the moment without cleaning all this up. You can see right down in that back corner there, it's really dirty. So I think I'll spend the next little while cleaning up the engine bay. It's just because it's been sitting so long, it's just everything that could stick to it has. And we'll make sure that we're not getting any dirt or potential dirt inside the engine. We'll seal off all the trumpets and make it all look a bit more presentable and a bit more workable as it would have been back in the early 2000s. Now, one thing that's really cool, I can't show you on camera, but I'll get a photo of it. Right down the back of the engine, there's a markings on top of the bell housing. Now, if you have a look here, the markings on the car are SBR BA1 and of first month 2003. The markings on top of the bell housing, you can see there, look like it's original bell housing that's been on the car as well. So that's really cool. Another bit of originality we can make sure stays with the car, and it all tells part of the car's story. And one thing I wanted to have a quick look at before I start the cleaning process, the pedal box on this car you can see is a little bit unique. Stone Brothers built them themselves back in the day. They didn't run the standard Tilton box like, as an example, on FTR3. And we've got to get a full set of filters for this car to service it all up. So, and I'm assuming the master cylinders will be a little bit dicey given they've sat for so long. So I thought I'll pop the foot tray out and have a quick look. It is missing a bolt out of the bottom of it, and there's all sorts of gunk there as well. So we'll pull this foot tray out and have a look and see what's lurking underneath. So the foot tray's out. Those bolts there, or the missing bolt there, wasn't so critical. It is stripped, but it does have two bolts in the top hiding away, which actually mount the majority of it anyway, but we'll need to fix that. But this is the pedal box. So again, built by Stones. It's filthy dirty, so again, I can't open it up or flush it or do anything until we get all this cleaned up. But a bit of a unique system, and it's pretty cool that they went it alone back in 2003. What you can see up under here though is everything is absolutely putrid. So I think it'll be a matter of pulling all this out, obviously getting the fluid out of the car and starting again. They don't look to be, there's a little bit of a mark from a master cylinder leaking at some stage, but that's pretty dry. I think that's an old oil stain, but everything else is all there. It just needs a good tidy up. But if you have a look up underneath the firewall here, it's really grubby. So we'll yeah, there might be a couple of days worth of cleaning happening here before we go opening any of this up to see exactly what we've got. One thing I'll quickly show you, which a lot of you guys have asked about, is the wiper. Obviously the wiper on these is one sweep, and the one wiper does the whole screen. Now if we go in under here again, have a bit of a look, that's the wiper motor there. And that's how it all operates. So it's just got a shaft that goes straight up through the firewall, and it just runs off that single motor. So really simple system, but it's really cool to see how they did it back in the day. And what's also pretty cool as I'm going along, there's all these markings, and a lot of the dates are either the first month 2003 or the second month. So there were articles written at the time with Stone Brothers saying that they built this car literally at the last minute. It was tested incomplete. They were working around the clock to make the first round of the 2003 season. There's nothing on this car that's marked late 02 or any earlier than January 2003. So the car was genuinely thrown together in a couple of months. So we've started to clean everything up, and it's not overly exciting viewing, so we haven't filmed a lot of it. But you can see here where we've cleaned up this rocker cover, and as we go along, you can see where we haven't. So the camera doesn't always do it justice, but you can see there's a lot of dirt and grit, and we just don't want to take the risk of any of that getting inside the engine. So there's going to be quite a few hours of cleaning, so we'll push on and get all that done. And then when we get back to the exciting part of, you know, opening up the engine and having a look, we'll film that and share that with you in the next update. So thanks again for all your interest and support in these projects. We do genuinely appreciate it, and we'll push on here tonight and have more for you soon. Thanks again.